Welcome to the Kingspiration podcast. This is the place where you'll learn how to get unstuck and gain momentum in your life and business. Each week, we tackle the real aspects of entrepreneurship, personal development, relationships, and fitness. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures, sharing wisdom and experiences to propel you forward. Welcome to Kingspiration. Let's start the conversation.
All right, so today I want to talk about your North Star. And Justin, I was telling you, like in my EO forum, we recently merged into a new forum. And the forum's like a small mastermind group. The name of the forum is North Star. And as incoming moderator, I had everyone in the group write, what is your North Star? And, your North Star is your guiding light. If you don't know the history of it, like when the navigators and the sailors back in the day, they didn't have, a compass or a navigation system or GPS like we do now. Well, they followed the North Star to know where north was, and then they knew how to get around. So what is your guiding light? And each person has something different. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, well, give me some examples of some North Stars and of like famous influential people that everyone would know. And some examples it gave were like Elon Musk, his North Star is innovation. Mandela, his North Star was bringing people together, things like fairness for all. Martin Luther King, his North Star was nonviolence. So different things like that people are known for. And it's easy to look back in the past and look at these famous people. And of course, we're all multifaceted humans, but it kind of puts these labels on them in hindsight. So Justin, if somebody were thinking about you and said, what's Justin King's North Star? what would ChatGPT say? What do you think guides your life?
You are really putting me on the spot. And this is actually, I'm going to buy myself some time now by taking the conversation on a slightly different route just for a second, because I remember you and I chatted about this previously, I'm going to say offline. And this is actually something that I struggle with. I mean, I'm doing a lot of self-development work at the moment, and really looking and doing a lot of introspection and trying to figure the answer out to these types of questions. And I find it hard. I find it super tough to say, okay, well, what is that singular North Star that I'm working towards or that drives me? And what I have found is helping is to kind of look back in order to look forward, right, and think about it almost as going back and looking at all the breadcrumbs that you've been leaving along the way. And if I unpack who I am, what I have done in the past, what are all those things, and I start looking at those as clues, they give me a far better indication of what that North Star is that I'm potentially working towards. And if I feel I need to course correct, I think that's quite key for me, because it's one thing just to say, standing here, okay, my North Star is to make the world a better place by teaching people skills that they need to know about X, Y, and Z. Okay, amazing. I've put that in place. But do I have the path that I've been walking? Is that showing me that I'm on track? Am I on course to get that? Am I just paying lip service to it? And if my breadcrumbs aren't showing me that, where do I need to course correct, and what do I need to change? So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, because it can be difficult to just look forward, but sometimes you need to look back in order to be able to put that in perspective.
Right. So for this particular exercise, you have to look back really to give yourself an honest answer of what your North Star is. You need to look at previous things that you've done and choices that you make and really examine it. It requires a lot of self-awareness to examine, well, why did I make that choice versus another choice? So I'll give you my answer first. So my North Star is personal freedom to design the life I want, full of abundance and amazing experiences with my family and friends, and helping others to live a life by design too. So when I look at examples of things that I've done like this. Like, for example, it's Monday morning here in Atlanta, and I'm at home. My calendar is completely free today because I designed my life like that, because I realized that most people hate Mondays. Most people hate Mondays and most people hate traffic. So I have engineered my life to avoid those two things. I never sit in traffic. Even when I get to the office, on days when I go into the office, it's after like 10, 11 a.m. And then I'm usually there. I stay until after traffic hours. But I only have to go in the office like a few times a week because I designed my life that way. And I made it so Mondays is like my free day to think, to do things like record this podcast, create content, whatever it is I want to do on Mondays, so that I'm not dreading on Sunday night, like dreading Mondays. But I chose to design my life that way. Everyone else may not choose to do that. So when I look back at choices like that in my life, I see that personal freedom is a big motivator for me. And I'll even take personal freedom over money sometimes and opportunities, because it's that much more important. So kind of looking at it through that lens, does that help you look back on your life?
It does. I mean, personal freedom absolutely resonates. I It's so easy to get caught up in thinking, "Oh, well, what should, if I have to tell other people what my North Star is, what is driving me, what what would other people want to hear?" So can you, how do you not get caught in that trap? Because I think it's a legitimate question. Even now, with not having prepared an answer for that, I'm thinking I can feel those thoughts in my mind being, okay, well, if I say this, is that, do I need to say something that actually also is for the benefit of the world, or is it just me? And if it's just about Justin, is that selfish? Or how do you wrap your head around that?
Yeah, I definitely had those feelings too. And in mine, um, honestly, in writing, I'm like, man, this feels completely selfish. It's all about me and my personal freedom. But then, really, when I peel back the layers, I do things to help other people. Like, for example, we don't have to be recording and publishing this podcast, but we are teaching other people. Maybe it will inspire someone to think differently, or maybe we'll share a tool that will help someone else. I mean, it's summertime here in Atlanta. I could be hanging out at my pool right now. So I do make choices that are unselfish. I believe it's part of the human experience. We have selfish motivations and we have unselfish motivations. But for the purposes of this exercise, I would say remove those limitations, and it's fine to just be perfectly selfish if you want to. It's like, hey, my North Star is this. I want to have 10 million in the bank and retire by the time I'm 35 or whatever it is. That's fine. If that's what's guiding you, and you truly look at, and I'm just giving this as an example, but if let's say that were someone's North Star, and they're like, yes, I want this $10 million nest egg by age of 35, then everything they do is going to be focused on building that nest egg, right? And they're probably going to work tireless hours, do what they need to do, build their empire to get that nest egg, whatever that may be, because that's the priority. That's the guiding light. Whereas someone else, it may just be living a healthy life, and I want to live until I'm 150 years old, where they're going to prioritize things differently in their lives. So I think it requires taking an honest look, and it's okay to be selfish. I mean, I think it's good to be selfish in some regards in this world, because then you take care of yourself, then you can be a blessing to others.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think if I had to sum mine up right now, then you're inspiring me. But I think it would be something along the lines of, I've always had this one line that I've shared a lot, saying that I don't want to live an ordinary life, and it's difficult to always. I think my ordinary would be different from your ordinary, so it's difficult to always really provide detail as to what that is. But off the back of yours, I think for me, my North Star would be to live life on my own terms, and with ease and calm being the something that I'm going to say pumps through my veins each and every day, because
Ease
those
and
things are ease and calm. Ease and calm can be difficult to find.
yeah,
So to be able to live life on my terms, and what I mean by that is just having the financial and the time freedom to really allocate time and resource to the people that are close in my life, family, friends. And then if I can live with ease and calm, on a daily basis, I can hopefully bring that into other people's lives as well, because it's not always so easy to find. So to be able to live life on my own terms with ease and calm, if I can nail that, I would be very pleased.
So diving into that ease and calm, and I want to make sure I understand, are you seeking like drama-free situations, or like,
I think
calm, like rowdy, or what? Avoiding toxic people?
A feeling of, I think it's an internal feeling of ease and calm. So a big part of that can be external and keeping yourself away from external influences that are going to bring that craziness into your life that maybe you don't want. But for me, it's getting a handle on the internal dialogue or monologue that's going on that can often bring that unease. I was listening to a podcast and will.i.am spoke about it as dis-ease, which was quite interesting. And he said that's what actually can lead to disease, is this dis-ease and this feeling of discomfort. So, and another really interesting book was by a gentleman by the name of Chris Bailey. I think it's in something about the pursuit of calm, but he also explains that calm and anxiety exist on a spectrum. And with the one end, you have anxiety. On the other, you have absolute calm. And just because you're not feeling anxious doesn't mean that you've actually found calm. You could still be quite high up the spectrum, or rather than the spectrum, the continuum. You could still be quite high up this end. So I'm doing a lot of work to try and ease that further down to finding real calm and not just not be anxious in a moment, and just find ease in life and in moments. And I think a big part of that is being able to be present and enjoy what you're doing in the moment. So for me, that would be pretty great to achieve.
I love it. I guess we'll close it out with, I did find that chat, GPT chat, where I asked about some North Stars. So here's my exact prompt. I said, what does it mean when someone asks, what is your North Star? Please provide examples. List 10 influential people and what each person's North Star is or was. So I let ChatGPT choose the people on his own. And it says, when someone asks, what is your North Star? They're asking about your guiding principle, the value or goal that consistently directs your decisions and actions, like how the North Star, Polaris, has been used for navigation because of its fixed position in the sky. However, determining someone's North Star can be speculative and subjective, especially for influential people. But based on their public personas, works, and statements, we might enter the following. Elon Musk, innovation. And then it gives examples. Musk consistently pushes boundaries in various industries. For example, SpaceX and Tesla, demonstrating a pursuit of innovation to improve humanity's future. Mahatma Gandhi, nonviolent resistance. Gandhi's life work revolved around promoting peaceful protest and civil disobedience as a means to achieve political and social change. And the list goes on and on. Steve Jobs, perfecting user experience. Albert Einstein, understanding the universe. Nelson Mandela, reconciliation. Mandela led South Africa out of apartheid and championed a peaceful transition through forgiveness and reconciliation. Bill Gates, accessible technology. And the list goes on and on and on. But it's really fascinating to read through this list if you want to try that same prompt in ChatGPT and then reflect on your own life and think, well, what is my North Star? Because self-awareness, I think, is one of the greatest skills we can have.
100%. What may be a really interesting, and I'm actually going to do it, an interesting exercise to do is, as a prompt in ChatGPT, is to describe myself and some of the things that I've historically done in the past, or some of the things that I've struggled with, and ask ChatGPT off the back of that, what would this type of individual's North Star be? What does ChatGPT think it would be? It'd be interesting to see what comes out.
You would. It's a good exercise. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Kingspiration. We hope this conversation sparked insights to ignite action in your life and business.
We're on this journey together, sharing our challenges and successes to help all of us take the next step towards building momentum and ultimately reaching our goals.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone else who might benefit and leave us a 5-star review.
And remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly conversations. Until next time, keep rolling, keep growing, and keep being inspired.